That's quite an evolution. And in the last year or so or two, has your business model changed completely? I mean, there wasn't any advertising when you started. There wasn't any advertising share with YouTube. Or was
I believe there was a share.
Okay.
It was just a bit like kind of having the square root of fuck all.
Right.
So am I allowed to say that type of thing?
Yeah, you can actually. One of the beauties we have here.
And it's only marginally bigger than fuck all now. So the return is not TV ad rates. I mean, we're not getting $75 CPMs, but it's certainly bigger than the pennies that we used to receive. I think in terms of our model, we have been on YouTube since day one. The business has been around, but most of our money came in from the other platforms. So from MSN, Yahoo, AOL, and several other sort of syndicated video platforms. And what's cool there is that those are professional platforms, so they can pull in professional ad dollars. And so we got paid very well. They're very stable in terms of ad rates, very stable in terms of audience, because they're well managed. Whereas YouTube, it's self-managed, so it's only as good as the audience you can pull in. It helps when you're good at it, and it's very difficult when you're not good at it. I kind of make the analogy, it's a bit like swimming, right? If you're not swimming very well, you're drowning. If you're swimming very well, you're getting from point A to point B, saying, hang on, isn't this a great way to get around? And YouTube is a little bit like that. And we'll get into the second part of our business, which is not just producing, but helping professional content owners on board and then better manage their audience and their content on YouTube. It's a skill set that we've developed over the last couple of years because we had to do it in-house if we were serious about YouTube. And since there was money on YouTube, we wanted to be serious on YouTube, so we developed a second part of the business in the audience management side. But to answer your question, YouTube's now, I think only just recently, probably about 50% of our revenue.
Okay, and before that it was actually licensing your content to the other networks or the advertising revenue you got?
Still on a rev share.
Rev share, okay.
Yeah, we've done very few kind of upfront or minimum guarantee deals.
Okay, and is that dropping on those other networks as YouTube gets more and more market share?
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. No, there isn't much cannibalization going on. In fact, there's competitors who are trying to base their whole business model on an off YouTube strategy, in the hopes that does someday become a viable model. It's incredibly difficult. The way we put it is, it's a little bit like being good at 9-hole golf. I mean, can you either of you two name me the #1 9-hole golfer in the world?
Nope.
Okay. Do they exist even? Is there a league table? Highly unlikely. But you can definitely name some people in the top, say 5 or 10 channels on YouTube. They're household names now. It is the world equivalent of 18-hole golf. The way we put it is, to be good at 9-hole golf, you want to be good at 18-hole golf because you can also go and impress some friends on the putting range. But right now, YouTube is the game.
Well said. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Okay, before we delve into all the other nuances, and you want to talk about basically is that an MCN model, your multi-channel network, when you help other people, or do you not use that phrase?
It's a great phrase. So one of the board members of a big U.S. Media company came through. I think they're either #1 or #2 in the world. And he said, I'm doing due diligence on behalf of the board on MCNs. And I said, well, can you define what an MCN is? And he said, no. And I said, it's not a one acronym catch-all phrase. So when we started out, we were a multi-channel network because there were multiple channels. They were in a network, but they were all our own produced channels. And so we could have stayed there and done that in the same way that, I don't know, maybe Disney runs its own suite of channels. But I think MCN implies managing other people's content, or it should.
It does these days.